I tried Design Pickle's unlimited graphic design service for a month, and do I have a doozy of a story to tell. It's not a happy ending, but I want to break down exactly where things broke down. So I'll show you real examples of what I requested versus what I got back from them, and how you can avoid wasting a lot of money like I did. So I do want to start off right at the top by saying that I am in no way making this video as an airing of the grievances or to be a Karen or tear anybody down. You guys know by now, I am always on the side of small businesses, which is why if I have an experience like this one with a company that basically preys on small businesses like yours or mine with really deceptive marketing and sales practices, I'm gonna have something to say about that, and I feel a responsibility to warn you guys about it. So let's just get into it. So if you don't know, Design Pickle is a graphic design service that offers flat rate packages for what they call unlimited graphic design. So I've been getting their ads for years on Facebook and Instagram, and I was always intrigued by the idea, right? But I was also pretty skeptical about how good could this really be. The monthly rate was just always more than I had a legitimate need for. But last month, I thought it was time to actually try them out. So if you watch any of my other videos, you might notice that I do these little animated segments here and there to try to illustrate some key concepts. And I saw that Design Pickle does not only custom illustrations, but also motion graphics. So I thought, if they can do that for me, I can probably do a little bit more of it and make my videos even more interesting and engaging. And when you look at all their marketing materials, their work actually looks pretty solid. So I hopped on a Zoom call with one of their sales reps, and then I showed her examples of the kind of animation style I was after. It's pretty specific. And she was like, "Oh yeah, that's totally in line with what we do. Don't even worry about it." And she said it with such confidence that I was feeling pretty good about the whole thing. I had the confidence at that point too. So I sign up at their highest tier, which is roughly $1,600 a month, because that's the only package that actually includes motion graphics. Their cheaper ones don't have that. And my operations manager, Christina, so she gets on a Zoom call with our onboarding person to just show her the ropes of how to make the requests and get projects in the queue. And everything seems super well thought out, like there's an actual process. So I'm still feeling good about the money I've spent. So what I do just to get everything ready is I spend some time putting together this document with all the reference points of, these are the animation styles we like, these are our colors, and these are the animation styles we don't like, all those cheesy animated explainer videos, don't do that. So we get matched up with our motion graphics designer, and he starts working, and I'm really excited to see how this is gonna turn out, right? And just to refresh your memory, this is the style that we requested. It's not cheesy, it's interesting, I think, and they assured me that it's very doable by their team. So the next day, this is the storyboard he turns in. Now, I want to be really clear here. I'm not here to bag on the designers that work for Design Pickle. I will be heavily critiquing their work throughout this video, but I think it's pretty obvious here that we're just dealing with some really beginner level designers, and we all start somewhere. So the problems I have with the Design Pickle aren't with the designers themselves. There are two much bigger problems here. First, that amateur to beginner, junior level designers are being put on people's projects when none of their marketing would suggest that. They talk about their designers like they're super experienced. I think they actually use the word unmatched on their website. Problem two, part of what you're supposed to be paying for here is supposed to be professional oversight of the creative process, meaning a team leader is supposed to approve designs and basically, art direct before their marked is ready for you, the client, to view them. So either that's not really happening, or the ones in charge just don't know what to even look out for. So I just let the team leader know that this is exactly what I said I didn't want. And then they assigned me a new designer who does more or less the same thing. I mean, it's a tiny bit better, but it's still like worlds apart from the style that I need. And mind you, days are passing here, days that I'm paying for. At this point, honestly, just wondering if I'm having bad luck and these are just isolated cases of specific designers who can't nail my style, but maybe the support team can do a better job matching me with someone who specializes in the style that I want. Now, I do have to say this much for Design Pickle. Their support team seems great, right? They're super friendly and they're always seeming to be really helpful when you're speaking with them. They're on your side and they really want to make sure your experience is good. You know, between Christina and myself, we've been on a call with them like 5 times now, and you always end the call feeling like things are really going to head in a more positive direction now, but they never really do. So I think people call this toxic positivity, right? And they always seemed genuinely shocked that our designs weren't good and how unusual this is. Normally everyone loves what they get. And then looking back on all those calls, I see what they were really there for. They're not customer support as much as they're just there for customer retention. And there's a difference. So anyway, we end up being passed onto a third designer who does a bit better, still not really nailing the nuances of the style though. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. Let's keep going and get this one animation for this one video just like finished up and out the door. And there are like 15 of these individual panels we need to get through for like one video. Then they need to animate them. So what's happening is she ends up doing like 1 or 2 of these panels a day. And just for context, when I used to do this myself, it would take me about 15 minutes to do one. I used to pretty much do 8 videos worth of these panels for the animators in about 2 days, start to finish. I actually came across this review of the company from the side of the designers, and they said, you sign a contract to work with 5 clients and they put you with more than 7 clients. In other words, you're getting about 1/7 of your designer's attention in any given day, and they're basically being set up to fail by being spread too thin. It's like the very definition of a lose-lose, and you can start to see how the term unlimited is more than a little misleading. So anyway, I find out it's gonna be like 2 weeks for 1 video's worth of finished animation. Well, we got a problem there because we put out 1 video every week. So a 2-week animation schedule just isn't gonna work from a timing perspective. And when you look at Design Pickle's own marketing, again, it's very deceiving. They tell you that a max of 7 days turnaround is typical for more complex projects, and they certainly don't tell you that your designer only works on your stuff for, you know, like an hour a day. It was a complete bait and switch without question. And when you consider how much you're paying per month, remember it's over $1,600 a month, you're getting about 1 to 2 hours of work done per day. That comes out to about $40 per hour for the same quality of design that you'd get from one of the cheapest gigs on Fiverr. So at this point, it's pretty obvious that what was promised to us and what was being delivered were just 2 very different things. And I saw no choice but to part ways and just to ask for a refund. And I really need to stress here, the only reason that I felt okay asking for that is because of how misleading their marketing and their sales process was. Honestly, that first sales call I got on, she should have just told me, okay, I see what you're going for here. I don't think we can really do it. That's what sales calls like that should be. It should be helping you figure out if it's gonna be a good fit or not. Just for context here, I found another company like this a few months back, but their whole thing is unlimited video editing. So, you know, I showed them the style that we use on this channel for video edits, and would they ask them, would they be able to do it? And the guy just said, yeah, I don't think we'd be the best at that. So, you know, thank you for saving me the time and money there. So anyway, we asked for the refund, and you know, given the circumstances, we thought for sure that they would be reasonable and just say, sorry, we weren't able to get this done for you, no hard feelings, happy to just give you your money back. But they took a different approach and they denied our refund request instead. No real reason for it, basically just, we don't do that. And I was honestly kind of shocked that they wouldn't, just to make things right. I think most companies of their size would be happy to offer that as a courtesy. But honestly, part of me feels like if they did, they'd probably have to offer a lot of refunds. So new policy, no refunds. So at this point, it's just like, okay, we still have like 2 weeks to go. Is there any way that we can just salvage this time we have left? You know, we know at this point we can't use them for our animations, but maybe could they at least do our next batch of YouTube thumbnails, right? So I put everything together for the designer to work with, fonts, the Photoshop file that has all of our styles in the background, all that stuff. And then this is what we get back. And not only do they not look like what we gave them, we can see that they put one of our previous designers on it who we specifically told them that we really can't use her design. She's just too beginner level for what we need. So they didn't listen there, and that's just where I gave up on the whole thing. So I think we had about 5 designers in total over a few projects that we tried, and none were really advanced enough to create the kinds of designs that we wanted or that were frankly showcased on their website. And from a few reviews I've read, it seems like even when you strike gold and you get a good designer who does a really good job, that designer may leave, or the managers may just swap them away from you over to somebody else. So feels like it would really be a constant learning curve that you're paying for over and over again. And at the end of the day, I realized that the concept of unlimited graphic design is never gonna truly be unlimited. I never expected it to be the kind of thing where, I could get literally unlimited animations plus everything else I may need. But the limits are actually quite a bit tighter than I would have thought going into this. First, you're really limited by the designer that they pretty much just randomly assigned to use skill set. The way it was sold to me was that I would be custom paired with a skilled designer that they match me with based on my brand style and the designer's style and strengths. But there's no matching here, right? It's just, here's a new client, here's a designer who's free, a match made in heaven, I guess. And again, I gotta say, I don't fault the designers themselves here. They're obviously just new, they're trying their best. We've all been there no matter what our expertise is in. The thing that I have a problem with is that the company's promising and charging small businesses real money for a design quality that just isn't there. These designers are overworked and spread way too thin across more clients than they can really be expected to do a good job for. So what you're paying for really isn't good design. You're paying for these layers and layers of management that don't really even do what they should be doing, which is overseeing the quality of the designs and making sure that realistic expectations are being set and met. Just a really frustrating experience that got my hopes up. I really thought that this was going to be a cool solution that would help out with my channel and my business as a whole. But instead, I was just charged a lot of money with literally nothing to show for it in the end. And this channel is all about small business marketing, so go ahead and hit subscribe if you want all my best tips when it comes to getting the word out about your business, because I really believe marketing is the lifeblood of any small business. You just need to be honest when you do it, right? And Design Pickle is the ultimate case study in bait and switch, dishonest marketing. I learned it the hard way so that you don't have to. So if you were thinking about going with Design Pickle, honestly, don't. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. Here's why. I would also always recommend just finding a designer that you pick yourself based on their skills and their style. So I use Upwork to find really talented people. Just put up a job posting and ask to see work samples from all the candidates, and then you're gonna be much better off than just getting whoever they assign to you. Because why let them pick when you could pick? So were you considering hiring Design Pickle? If you have any questions about it, go ahead and leave a comment below. I'm more than happy to answer as many of your questions as I can about my experience there. And if you want to get all my best marketing tips, advice, and strategies, hit subscribe so you don't miss a thing. So I'll see you next time.